Deep beneath the waves, in a world of crushing pressure and eternal darkness, lies the secret nervous system of our planet. It's not some natural wonder, but a man-made miracle. Over 1.4 million kilometers of fiber optic cables, some no thicker than a garden hose, snake across the ocean floor, linking continents, cultures, and economies. This is the real cloud, not some weightless concept, but a physical, vulnerable network resting on volcanic plains and plunging into abyssal trenches. Through these glass threads, 99% of all international data flows. Your emails, your bank transfers, your video calls with family halfway around the world. Every swipe, click, and stream travels through this silent, underwater kingdom. A single one of these cables can carry over 200 terabytes of data per second. That's like downloading 50,000 high-definition movies in 1 second. It's an almost unimaginable torrent of information that powers our entire modern civilization, and almost every single day, somewhere in this vast, unseen network, a cable breaks. The question isn't if the internet will break. The question is, who or what is breaking it? For years, the culprits were thought to be simple and almost mundane. Imagine a fishing trawler dragging a heavy net along the seabed. The crew feels a sudden, violent snag. Down below, their net has hooked onto a multi-million-dollar artery of global communication. In a desperate attempt to free their expensive gear, they pull harder. The cable, engineered to withstand immense pressure, but not shearing force, gives way. Just like that, an entire region's connection to the world can be severed. This is the most common cause, accounting for more than 2/3 of all cable faults. A costly disruptive accident. Then there are the anchors. In busy shipping lanes, a single misplaced anchor can cause chaos. A 30-ton chunk of steel, dropped from a supertanker, doesn't just rest on the seabed. It plummets, it plows, and it hooks. On January 30th, 2008, multiple cables in the Mediterranean were severed. Egypt lost 80% of its internet capacity. India's connectivity dropped by 60%. The culprit? A single dragging anchor near Alexandria. A stark reminder of how one clumsy mistake can have consequences that ripple across continents. And sometimes, the planet itself becomes the saboteur. An undersea earthquake can trigger a submarine landslide, sending millions of tons of rock cascading down a continental shelf. The cable is buried, stretched, and then snapped like a twig. This is what happened in 2006 off the coast of Taiwan, crippling financial markets in Asia. There is no defense against this. It's the price of laying our most critical infrastructure on the skin of a living, breathing planet. For a long time, there was another suspect, one that captured the public imagination: the shark. Grainy early footage showed sharks gnawing curiously on newly laid cables. The theory was irresistible, that these apex predators were mistaking the electromagnetic fields for distressed fish. It was a terrifying, almost mythic image. Tech giants even started reinforcing their cables with Kevlar, creating shark-proof sheathing. But the truth was less dramatic. Shark bites account for a statistically insignificant number of faults. They were a convenient, sensational monster to blame, a distraction from the far more dangerous predators lurking in the dark. The real monsters aren't the ones with teeth. They're the ones with state-funded intelligence agencies and highly specialized tools. The story changes on January 7th, 2022. Far to the north, in the frigid waters of the Norwegian Sea, a vital data link connecting a satellite ground station in Svalbard suddenly went dark. A repair crew was dispatched, expecting a simple break. What they discovered was baffling. This was no simple snap. An entire section of the cable, over 2.5 miles long, was simply gone. Vanished. It hadn't just been cut. It had been surgically removed. The seabed bore tracks, but not from any known fishing vessel. The level of precision pointed to something else entirely. Something deliberate. Something with the capacity to operate with near invisibility at a depth of nearly 1,000 feet. Norway's police opened an investigation, stating that human activity was the likely cause. Someone was sending a message. And this wasn't an isolated incident. Intelligence agencies in the West had been watching, with growing alarm, the unusual movements of certain Russian naval vessels. Not their destroyers, but their special mission ships. One ship in particular became infamous, the Yantar. Officially, it's an oceanographic research vessel. But the Yantar is part of Russia's secretive main directorate of deep-sea research, and it is equipped with deep-sea submersibles. These aren't for studying marine life. They are tools of underwater espionage, capable of diving thousands of meters to sever, or even tap, a fiber optic cable. The Yantar's movements were a map of Western vulnerabilities. It would loiter for days directly above critical transatlantic cables. It was the naval equivalent of finding a burglar meticulously studying the locks on your front door. But the Yantar is just the surface vessel. The true ghost in this machine is its hidden payload. The Russian Navy operates a fleet of highly specialized, nuclear-powered submarines designed for operations on the seabed. The most notorious is the AS-12, nicknamed the Lo Sharik. It's a titanium-hulled enigma designed to withstand the crushing pressure of the abyssal plain. Its purpose is singular, to interact with objects on the ocean floor. And the most valuable objects on the ocean floor are the cables that carry the lifeblood of the global economy. An attack wouldn't be loud. There would be no explosion, just a quiet snip in the dark. What would that look like? Imagine it's not just one cable near Norway. Imagine a coordinated strike. In the Atlantic, a hidden Russian submarine releases a small, unmanned underwater vehicle. It locates the Hibernia Express cable, the lowest latency link between New York and London. A robotic arm extends. A precision cutter activates. Snip. Thousands of miles away, a similar vehicle does the same to the Maria cable, the highest capacity cable in the world. Snip. Then another off the coast of Japan, another in the Strait of Malacca. Within minutes, multiple key data arteries are severed. The effect would be an instantaneous global shock. Stock market algorithms would crash, triggering a financial meltdown. Your credit card would be declined. ATMs would flash, network connection lost. Hospitals could lose access to patient records. Military communications would be in chaos. It would be a 21st century blitzkrieg, designed to cripple an opponent's ability to function. Satellites like Starlink can offer a backup, but they simply do not have the bandwidth. They are a lifeboat, not a replacement for the supertanker. And the brilliance of this strategy is its plausible deniability. Was it a coordinated attack, or just a statistically impossible series of fishing accidents? Fighting this threat is a monumental challenge. The battleground is the entire ocean floor. NATO has responded by dramatically increasing its maritime patrols and racing to develop new technologies, like deep-sea sensors along cable routes that act as a tripwire. It's a high-stakes, high-tech hunt in a vast and unforgiving wilderness. In the middle of this geopolitical chess match are the unsung heroes, the crews of the cable repair ships. There are only about 60 of these vessels in the entire world. When a break occurs, they are the cavalry. Their job is brutally difficult. They sail into rough seas, locate a fault in a cable a few inches thick, thousands of feet below. Using a remotely operated vehicle, they find the severed ends, bring one to the surface, and on the deck of the rolling ship, specialized technicians splice the individual glass fibers, each thinner than a human hair, back together. It's a painstaking process that can take weeks, while the world above loses millions of dollars a minute. The reality is, our civilization has become a colossus with glass feet. We've built a miraculous world of instant communication and placed its foundations in the most inaccessible environment on our planet. It is a system built on trust. That trust is now broken. The threat is no longer theoretical. The cut near Norway was a wake-up call, a demonstration of capability and intent. A silent message sent from the crushing darkness of the abyss. We can touch you whenever we want. We can disconnect your world. and you will never see us coming. So the next time you stream a movie or send a message, think about the journey those bits and bytes are taking. A plunge into the cold, black deep. A journey through a realm now stalked by a new kind of predator. The fragile thread of our modern existence is spooled out across the bottom of the sea, and in the quiet dark, there are fingers reaching out to cut it. The war for the internet isn't happening in cyberspace. It's happening thousands of feet beneath the waves, and it has already begun. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey into the deep fascinating, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content that dives below the surface. See you next time.